So, in the early hours of the 30th of August, which was yesterday, there was a coup in Gabon, and this added to the growing list of military takeovers in Africa. And I said, let me just talk about it and share some interesting things I learned from this Gabonese coup. So now the president Ali Bongo won an election over the weekend, and then people were other people in other parts of Africa were shocked and surprised when the military came and announced it has put the president under house arrest and has taken over the government. And they cited a few reasons why they took over the government. And then people were on the streets celebrating. Now, the president of Nigeria, who doubles as the ECOWAS chairman, has condemns the act and said power lies in the hands of the people and not in the barrel of a gun. When you look on the streets and you see videos of people dancing because they have arrested their president, I think that should tell you something, that perhaps power lies in the hands of the people and not in the hands of a few. Because if you won an election and then hours later you are arrested in a coup attempt, and then your people who supposedly voted for you are dancing in the streets, I think there's a problem somewhere, right? So imagine um, you claim everybody voted for you, and then at the end of the day something happens to you and everybody's celebrating that something has happened to you. If they vote for you, it means they care about you, they love you, they want to see you there. So why are they dancing when you are being arrested? I believe that's a problem. Now, on the other hand, you see in on the other hand, you see the Western community talking about how the man was rich and I think to please the Western community was preaching the um, zero emissions, climate change stuff, and so they was like on their good books because of the efforts it was taking to suck up to them somewhat. So now look at this from this angle. Yeah, the military took over because they were not satisfied. Will you say that the leader of the Gabonese state was really elected? Because Gabon has gained independence since 1960. It was in 1962, but in about 60 years, they have only known three leaders. Three. This president's father, and one other person. So how is it that it's supposed to be a democracy where people vote and be voted for? Meanwhile, you only have three leaders in 60 years. How? That's not a democracy. That's like inheritance. So your father lives and then you move right in. Your father died in power and then you move right in. And then look at people that and the fact that they have been adjusting and making edits to the constitution just to suit them being in power for life. That is not a democracy. Now, I'm not supporting the coup. I'm not saying that the best option is to take over government and take powers into their hands. I understand why Tinubu is quite, let's say, I don't say scared, but quite concerned by the military takeovers because he knows that this kind of thing could spread like a wildfire. So he wants to be careful of what he's doing and the kind of thing he preaches and what he condemns and what he lets go because he wants to show that he is strong on democracy. He's strong on being against the military taking over government because it could happen to him. Now, meanwhile, Paul Biya of Cameroon has reshuffled his military heads of military commanders, and people are like, is it because he's confused and is trying to make sure that that doesn't happen to him? Because why is it that African leaders most times will stay in power, want to stay in power for long and long and long? It's supposed to be go in, contribute to your quota you can contribute to build your country, and go and rest. Back in, I think that was in 2007 when the former president Olusegun Obasanjo was like he wanted to move allow presidents to run for a third term. And people were like, no, no. And it was good we stopped it. We stopped it at that point because Nigeria would have been like them when you see a president ruling for 4 years, 8 years, 16 years, 20 years, and it goes on and on and on. That way you can have a president ruling for 40 years. What are you doing in power for 40 years? In Nigeria, you can't even be a working class person for 40 years. Because at some point, your brain and mental capacity is no longer functioning as they are supposed to. So how are you ruling a country when you can't rule your own bodily function? It does not make sense. So I'm not supporting the military coup, but what I'm saying is at the end of the day, let's practice proper democracy so that the military will not see reasons to come and take over. Because part of what the Niger government, the Niger military people were talking about, because he said that the president was supporting the West at the detriment of his own people. And then when I look at the fact that Imedi was arrested, the so-called West condemned it strongly and was supporting the ECOWAS to go in militarily and return power to democracy. Or like maybe these people had substance in what they're talking about. Just think about it. So above all, I don't think military rule is the best. I still believe in democracy, but at the end of the day, we have to practice proper democracy and not fashion and web the democracy to suit our own selfish needs. That's stupid. So let me know your thoughts on the Gabon military takeover in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Eccentric side. My name is Uche Odogu. Till next time, stay eccentric.